Merry Christmas, everyone. Catwoman here. Welcome back to my YouTube channel, or welcome to my YouTube channel. Welcome back to episode 2 of Film Critiques. Ho, 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 everyone. Welcome back. I am so excited to do another film review today as a film critic. I never expected myself to go and watch such a good action movie that was actually released this year in November. So if you like this film that I'm about to tell you about, if you like to see like action in a Christmas movie, okay, I would recommend um this action movie based on Christmas, and it also has some comedy in there. Alright, directed by Jake Kasdan, starring Dwayne Johnson, J.K. Simmons, and Chris Evans. Get ready, sit back, eat some popcorn for a review of The Run One. So before I start, I was kind of a little late again to watching the movie The Run One because not only there was a long line and I was like supposedly waiting, wanting to go in like before like 12:10, I believe. Okay, but I believed I only got the beginning so far, but I have 7 pages to go through and let you guys know my opinion about the movie. I think The Red One is actually the best action Christmas movie. So ride a sleigh along with me and stay tuned for my rating at the end. Alright, so here we go. So, yeah, as someone who was late, I just started writing right away. I think I did get much at the beginning, obviously. So, it starts off as Dwayne Johnson as Cal and J.K. Simmons as Santa Claus. So, Santa and Cal rolled in like a special like box like limbo to a special garage where the reindeer are located. Okay, they enter and they were looking at the reindeer, the sleigh, and and so they were, and then they got outside where military airplanes are, and Santa was on the sleigh, was Cal, and Santa was like, "Alright, ladies, let's go home." So after they flew, then Santa Claus flies off. Okay. I loved how you edited the reindeer to make it actually fly, and I loved the mechanism of how the sleigh and reindeer were edited to actually go up in the air like so fast like that. And I love the lightning effects of the reindeer's horns and the feet, and every time they stomp, there's like some light that goes off like that. That was cute. And I loved the music and the sound effects of reindeer stomping. That was that felt real. And then it cuts to next scene, where Chris Evans enters. So Chris Evans starred as Jake Molly, aka Wolf. He's a hacker. Okay, he was sitting in his office and he was eating noodles. Alright? And he was on a phone call with somebody, apparently bad person or something, but it was a scene where he unknowingly helped someone else kidnap Santa Claus. I'll explain that later on when it starts to happen. Alright? So after he ends the phone call, he gets excited because he heard the right coordinates, and then suddenly on the TV, his favorite boxer lost the boxing game. And so he's like, come on! And then he got on his knees like in defeat like that. Very beautiful acting right there, Chris Evans. I felt your emotions. They felt very real to me. Okay? You stopped acting right there. Like you were actually genuine with your acting. Okay? Very awesome. And I liked how you changed your emotion like in a snap. Right there too. From excitement to oh come on. Right there. Like that was I felt both of your emotions right there. That was beautiful. Okay, if you want to see like raw emotion in movies from really good actors, I recommend Chris Evans and Dwayne Johnson. Okay, they pull out actual emotions. Okay, so when it comes to acting, okay, the whole entire point of acting is to stop acting. Okay, if you want to know what I mean by stop acting, okay, so let me see an example here. So for like if you want to be angry in a certain scene, okay, instead of acting like you're angry, okay, be angry. Be angry. Like if you have to punch someone, be angry while you're acting out like you're gonna punch at someone. Like don't actually punch a person. Okay, I'm talking about bringing out actual emotions when you stop acting. Does that make sense? Okay, if you want me to like teach you more about acting and stuff like that, like there are other videos on acting too, but like the stop acting is just a secret to becoming a better actor. Okay, like so how to stop acting? Like don't act in a certain way, like actually be a certain way. Like, be angry. Or if you have to be sad in a certain scene, actually be sad. Don't act sad. Does that make sense? Alright, let's continue on. And then it cuts to the scene where I'm seeing Santa Claus skyscraper for the first time. Okay, I absolutely loved the reindeer bridge that is connected right to his skyscraper. It's like in the movie, this it's not like a normal house, like normal factory that Santa Claus goes to was to have his elf um go prepare for Christmas, right? It's a literal skyscraper in that movie. It's awesome. So it's kind of in the shape of Eiffel Tower, and then there's like a bridge that goes here, and then it's like a dome at the end, if you know what I mean. Okay. So, and then as soon as they get on there, there's these white, cute, and adorable dwarf-like creatures, like scrambling on to like undo the reindeer like so fast, like they're just so cute. I can't help. I was like swooning over them while I was at the theater. Okay, J.K. Simmons, if you're watching this video, you looked freaking amazing as Santa Claus. I applaud you. You looked amazing. All right, and Dwayne Johnson, as Cal, I liked your costume for your security role, like as Santa Claus security. Okay, then seen like a scene in the gym. Apparently, Santa likes to be in good shape, and he looked like he was in good shape. And Santa was in the middle of his workout when Cal comes in and hands the letter to Red. He's also known as the Red One. That's why there's the title, the Red One, in there. And then he goes to spot Santa Claus on the bench. Um, this is like the scene where Cal was like, I don't think this is working for me anymore. I loved working for the kids though, but the problem is that the adults are killing him because they're sending letters to Santa Claus saying that all of their children are expressing bad behavior and stuff like that. That's when Santa Claus expresses that, you know, it's because they need them more than ever. Okay? It's because they need to, like, make their jobs for better, stuff like that. And it shows that, Santa and Cal do believe in each other, but they also believe in humanity. Okay, that's what this scene was really showing. Okay, and I felt a good connection, awesome connection between those two actors. Very good job. And right at the end of the scene, Santa Claus goes and hands Cal a cookie. She's like, "You want a cookie?" He's like, "Yeah." He's like, "The cookie is always the answer to every problem in this world. So you guys, if you have a problem, okay, go and eat a cookie, eat some sweets or whatever makes you feel better. Okay, if you're eating something, don't overeat. Okay, I'm just giving you precaution here." Then it cuts to the scene where there's like soldiers or walking in Storm in like a silver military um clothing. They look kind of like Eskimo like, kind of, because the hoods had like fluff under, like how I have this, right? So then there's this woman commanding one of them to use like a laser gun, but it's actually the gun that was used to destroy and open up the dome that Santa Claus secretly lives in. Okay, then next scene later, Cal was walking towards like this wooden house that Santa Claus actually lives in. Okay, and that's when I got another good look at the skyscraper. Okay, I love the colors. Okay, it just makes it more colorful and magical. Okay, so the colors were orange, blue, and green. So here's like the shape of the skyscraper, right? And then it goes up to like small like this. So the orange window colors are like on the bottom, and then the green goes like on the middle, going up at first, and then it turns to blue at right at the top. That's what the skyscraper looked like. It is so beautiful. All right. So upon looking at the skyscraper, one of the windows was like flickered off, and it's like a sign that something's wrong with at the skyscraper. So Cal calls another security guard. It's like, "Hey, check out that window, please." Okay, and the other security guard was like, "Yeah, but make sure to get Santa Claus so he's safe." So Dwayne, aka Cal, goes out to look for Santa Claus, and then he's like, "Oh shoot!" So he runs to the skyscraper and then runs down the hall to the office. Then he realized Santa Claus was gone and he was kidnapped. So he calls his security personnel, like his security co-workers, and was like, "Guys, Santa Claus is gone." And then he goes out the window and sees a military car that Travis is driving away, that he like jumps out and runs on the rooftop. Might be dangerous, but very cool stunt. Then he slides on like a clear slide that is like a part of like a transportation system. That he as soon as he curls like to the right, kind of he hops on the other side, um, just so to reach like a helicopter. I think it was either like the security or the enemies, and then he's like hanging over the um railing. Not railing, but like the bottom piece of the helicopter. Then he like jumps out of car, but it didn't last so long because he then falls off of it. And that's when he discovers the hole in the doom. So he pulls out a toy snowmobile, and he has like this wristband that like acts as like a transformer thing. So he sets it down, and he uses that to turn the toy snowmobile into like a life size, which is very cool. I like that mechanism right there. Okay, so he goes and drives it into the mountaintop to try to attempt to save Santa Claus, but unfortunately, the avalanche causes Cal to give up. So, upon coming back, he's straight it back to toy size, and that's when we cut to um Jake Molly, aka the Wolf, and he was sleeping in his bathtub, apparently hungover. Okay, from last night. So he gets a call from nurse. Her name's Olivia. In this one, I like her acting too. And I like how she sounded frantic, like telling him, like, please pick up Dylan. Like, I don't have much time right now because two moms got weakening contractions. He's like, all right, I'll go pick up Dylan from school. So he goes and picks up Dylan from the school, and also the real reason is because Dylan got in trouble for apparently standing up for himself. Okay, so as they were telling each other about the problems, he's like, I need a churro. Okay, so he's like almost gets into an accident on the way to do it, and he like rushes himself to park, goes in to get a churro, comes back, and that's when Dylan told him about his problems, which causes Jake to get disappointed in Dylan, and he was like telling him like some advice, stuff like that, and he's like tells him about a winter pageant he has to go attend for jazz band. Alright? And he goes to Dylan's mother's home, okay? And he was talking with Dylan's mom and stuff like that. Like, so Olivia and Jake were in a relationship. They had Dylan, but they broke up. Alright, that's why Jake and Olivia were in separate houses. And that's why he was like picking Dylan up for school, whether he got in trouble. Alright, and they had a conversation with each other deeply, and I felt good connection right there. There was some good emotions. Okay, upon coming back to Jake's apartment, though, that's when an intense fight broke out. So this is like the first fight scene that I witnessed. Right? So upon going up the stairs, he sees two guys following him, and then they gain up on him, and that's when Jake started to fight with these multiple men that are trying to dress out his apartment and try to kidnap him, stuff like that. I love the sound effects. I love the music. They're very good, and it felt intense, which was thrilling. then there was like at one point where all the men froze and they were lined up. Okay, that's when he came he like went between them out of his apartment, then he jumped from his apartment place into another building. Only for a woman, I forgot her name. Um that's why she tased him. So look her up. Her name is Zoe Harlow, and she was like the head security of mythological creatures, which I thought was very cool. Yes, there is mythological creatures in this movie, which is the best part, in my opinion. Okay, so Zoe Harlow was Asian with black hair. She's like a badass. She does not take no crap. Um, so she was like talking to him while he was like tied up in a chair with her um military man surrounding him, and then she takes him to um see Cal. Okay, on the way, um a fiery horse scares the crap out of him. I love the emotion right there. Chris Evans, you did a wonderful job. And right after that, I just love this part. Chris Evans yells out, "Was that the Headless Horseman?" Okay, so as they were in like a room where security goes to, Zoe explains the fact that he unknowingly helped someone um kidnap Santa Claus. He's like, "Oh no," and then that's when Dwayne Johnson comes in, aka Cal. Okay, and they were like, as they were talking, Cal and Jake were like wisecracking at each other. There was one point where someone said like "for naughty Lister." I think that was Jake. I thought it was very funny. And then that's when the polar bear um hugged Chris Evans. His name is Garcia, by the way. So he like held him from behind, basically in a hug, and that's like Garcia. The polar bear forced Chris into a chair, and a tracker was put on Chris Evans, aka Jake, and it cuts to the next scene about Santa Claus being trapped in like a dimmed room surrounded by glass, and it was locked, and a woman with the blonde hair, um she was standing outside looking at Santa Claus, and Santa Claus like, "What am I doing here? What are you doing here?" It's like she claims that she'll make the world a better place, and I like how she sounded deceiving. Okay, but Santa Claus knew better. It's like, you're not gonna. Then that's when she's like, turns on something, and it was collecting Santa Claus energy from him in order to make snow globes, actually, like evil snow globes, to actually trap all children, not just the naughty ones. Alright, it cuts the next scene where Cal and Jake set off on their mission. So he has keys, and he was like taking toys and stuff like that to gear up for the mission. And he like leads Jake to um leads Jake through like a closet to another store, and so Cal tells Jake to pick out a toy car. All right, and so he like picks out like the red sports car, and Cal was like, "Seriously, really?" All right, so he like pulls out, takes the red car out, sets it down, makes it life size, and they drive in it to the beach where they have another fight. On the way though, um, Jake was like asking him questions like, how are you working for Santa Claus? He's like, we've been actually working for 364 days. But on Christmas, on Christmas Eve, that's when they do their work, and then they take a break on Christmas Day. Alright? And then Jake was like wisecracking at Cal about Cal's job and was like asking him, okay, why are you doing this? That's when Cal's like, to bring cheer to the world, asshole. That part was funny. that was really hilarious. And it cuts off to the evil blonde chick that was playing Gryla. That's the witch's real name. She was placing Santa Claus energy in a snow globe to be able to make snow globes to trap naughty children. Next scene, Cal and Jake finally arrives at the beach. I love the beach set, by the way. I wonder how you did it. You probably made it an actual beach or something like that. And while Cal was still in his security costume, right? Jake was in his beach-like clothes, which I like on him. And so they were coming up to see the guy that he unknowingly helped kidnap Santa Claus, right? And so they were coming up to 5 guys that the main guy was working for, and that's when another fight scene broke out. And I liked how Cal was getting smaller or bigger each time while he was whooping their butt without sweat, which I thought was amazing. But Jake, aka the Wolf, called it disturbing. Okay, and then that's when they got to the main guy, flirting with 2 women in bikini. They like walk off. Okay, and he was warning them that he can't say the witch's name though, because you will actually get her to I know the word. Summon her. Yep. You would actually summon her. Okay. Like an idiot he is, Jake says the name Garla anyways, after the poor guy told him not to as he was writing out her name. Alright? And then, upon hearing her name, she goes and possesses the guy that was working for her, and then through him, she explains that she wants to punish all people, including the children. And then right after that happened, Jake was looking at Cal like and said, "What in the actual?" Okay, I thought it was a perfect cutoff. Actually, it was a perfect cutoff. Like, like how someone was about to scream and then it gets cut off. That was what I'm talking about. Okay, as that scene goes on, a ice cream truck drives out of the water, which I thought was weird. Okay, it goes and parks next to the ticket building, right? A yellow, like, small building. Ice Monster started to get out of it, and suddenly one man gets frozen. Cal's like, Jake, you goes, run, just run. So Jake and another guy that he helped kidnap Santa Claus runs away so they don't have to get ice. Alright? And then they were running. Not only was the snowman going after them, but they were going after Cal too. And Jake goes over to the grill area and he runs away from the snowman, bursts one of them on the grill, and he was like, Cal goes by a pool area, and they were fighting each other. so he gets on a snowman and accidentally pulled out the carrot, and then the snowman dissipated. He's like, I see how that works. So he runs to save Jake from getting ice in the pool because Jake fell in, and he pulls out the carrot of the one that was about to ice Jake. I thought it was an epic save, by the way. Um, then there's, and then it cuts to the next scene where a man who drives a black car goes into a high-tech spot, goes out, and a woman serves out a ticket and was looking in his car, stuff like that. And as soon as she comes back, the security woman turns into a male soldier, and I like the special effects on that. It looks like ice dissipating in air, which is very cool. And then he announced something, which cuts to the next scene where Zoe meets up with Cal and Jake and the other people. And that's when I learned much more about Gryla. Okay, so Gryla is actually a shape-shifting witch. She's 900 years old and apparently has 30 kids. Which, ow. Okay. Then, continuing on their journey, Cal and Jake goes into a toy store, transport through the closet into another toy store. And that's when Cal gets out a blue toy truck, which he transforms with his watch band, like he normally does, into life size. And that's okay. Never mind. Before that scene that I was just talking about, okay, Zoe, Cal, and Jake were talking about not only Gryla, but they were talking about Krampus, who was boyfriend at one time with Gryla, and now Krampus and Gryla are exes. Okay, and that's when they continue on their journey by driving in a blue truck, and Jake was sitting in the passenger seat, and that's when Cal explained that Santa Claus and Krampus used to work together. They're actually brothers until Krampus made a naughty list for children, and that's what caused them to break apart. And Krampus started working with Gryla the witch back then, and he stops in a forest. Um, and no, actually, they were in a graveyard. I was right. And he goes to a specific tombstone, and it has a door on it. It's not really a tombstone. It's like a tombstone-like building that actually has a door on it, if you know what I mean. So both Jake and Cal transports through that door, and that's when they enter into Krampus's world. And at Krampus's mansion, like castle. And so Cal pulls out a bird, transforms her into a chicken. Okay. So the chicken's name is Ellen, by the way. He's like, oh, deal with those lizard dog hybrids. So she runs, and the two lizard dog hybrids that was guarding the castle, they were running after her, and Ellen leaves them away as a distraction. And Cal and Jake try to sneak in. Unfortunately, Jake decides to take some money from the tribute box meant for that was given to Krampus for after the parties. That's when these black demon statues light up in orange. I like the special effects on that, by the way. The lighting effects. They alert the guards, and these ogre guards comes out and So after trying to run away, Jake and Cal gets captured by them and thrown into the dungeon. Alright? And and he's like, what did I do? He's like, Cal's like, you idiot. You touch the tribute chest that was supposed to be for Krampus. And then they were talking for a little bit. That's when the ogre guard comes and leads them to the party room where Krampus and a mythological creature were like standing face to face, and then all the other mythological creatures were gathering around to play Krampus slap. Okay, it's where they slap each other. Whoever knocks out loses. Okay, that's when I got a good look at Krampus. Okay, Krampus is a lion-like hybrid with horns and has a tail of a lion, of course. I love every prosthetic on all of the mythological creatures and anything, including Krampus, okay, which is very, very lovely. Okay, as they were held there, Cal begs Krampus to free him. Okay, and then they were like, Krampus and Cal were making like a deal on each other. That's when Jake comes in and challenges Cal to play Krampus slap against Krampus. Alright? He's like, alright. So they get ready right now to play Krampus slap. And like a dwarf person explained it. She's like, first to be knocked out or dead loses. Alright? Cal gets nervous. She's like, I wish there was another option. And all of the mythological creatures was like, really? Why? Like, which is the funniest part of that scene. I'm so sorry. And they were like, boo. They complained. Alright. He's like, alright, fine. Krampus like, you first. So, trying his best, Cal goes in, smacks Krampus. It was good, but he could have done it better. Krampus' turn. Then Krampus smacked him so hard, Cal flew across and smashes the table apart. Alright? Chick goes to him and is like, don't worry, you're gonna be okay. Keep going. That's when he slapped the bracelet on him and he had to hide it behind his back. Alright. Alright. He's like, alright. So he goes up to Krampus again and smacked him hard. He flew back and won apparently. And then that's when Cal and Jake ran out of the castle and tried to run back before the two and then Ellen the chicken was like running with him. He's like, come on Ellen, let's go. And the two dog lizard hybrids like gave up after chasing them and then they transport back to the other world and then they ran back to their truck to take deep breaths and Cal and Jake were facing each other and Jake admits to Cal that Cal's not the good no Jake I mean sorry was not a very good father. He's like, I keep missing out on my kid and I wish I could do better. And Cal was like, let's say this together. Let's save Christmas. Okay? Jake was like, Let's Say Christmas did not sound enthusiastic at first. It's like, oh, come on, you can do better than that. Very funny, by the way. And then, Jake finally went like, let's sing Christmas. He's like, there you go. And then they drive on. Oh yeah, that's right. That is right. Um, so, um, they were driving the blue truck, and upon going to the curb to the right, they stopped because there was a piano there right in front of them, and they almost hit the piano, but there was like a box sitting on top of the piano. Parked the truck. They both got out, and suddenly Chris's phone rings, and he picks up the phone and video called with his son. There was another box on his son's end. Okay? And that's when Jake slipped up the witch's name again. And so he had to open the box on the top. It reveals like an orange snow globe. Alright? Dylan picks up the other snow globe. Okay? And as both of them were holding their own snow globe, the globe turns blue, and suddenly not only did Dylan disappear, Jake disappeared. And both of them got trapped in a snow globe, and Cal reported what happened to the supervisor. Okay? And as Cal drives off, right, to go rescue them, there's Mrs. Claus in her kitchen baking cookies. Okay, that's actually a fake Mrs. Claus, if that makes sense, because all of the soldiers actually trapped the real ones in a basement. I'll explain that later. Okay, Cal and Sylvie were with each other, got her up, and goes and tries to rescue Jake and Dylan. Okay, so Fred was one of the other Santa Claus security personnel, and so Cal punches fake Fred, knocked him out, and that's when he transformed back into soldier. They go in like this door and into like a tunnel system. Okay, as they were looking for them, cuts back to the scene where Jake Jake was trapped in one snow globe, Dylan was trapped in the other, and they were looking at each other like, "Oh, we gotta get out." He's like, "Hey, bud, I'm sorry. I have been a terrible, terrible father." And Jake sounded like he generally wanted the chance with Dylan, and that's when they were broken free from the snow globes, and they transformed back to life size. He's like, "Wow, that's how it works? Cool." Um, and then, as they were in a room full of snow globes, that's when they met up with Cal and Zoe, and they're like, "Let's try to get out of here." So they both went down, and Dale is like, "I'm hearing something over here." So he goes the other direction. They're like all going out in the other direction, and they found this um found this like round vault door, and they opened it, and they found the real people that was trapped in there. Okay, and so they got them out there, and so they were all going out, and that's when the end of the movie starts. Okay, so so the witch comes out, and she was still beautiful. She has like a purple black dress on, right? I loved the dress, by the way. And they were coming out to the area where you packed up the presents, right? And so Cal and Jake were running after her, and there was like a fight going on between Santa's workers and Gryla's soldiers. Okay, so Cal and Jake run for the sleigh to rescue Santa because he was on the bench where he leads the reindeer, and there's like a box full of snow globes to trap the children in. Okay, all right. So and as Cal was fighting Gryla, Chris fell off the sleigh. Okay, and while I'm holding onto the chain that was connected to the reindeer, and then he kicks them off, and the sleigh falls down onto the bridge. Okay, very epic ending to this movie, by the way. Okay, so Cal opens the glass cage that was trapping Santa Claus in, and he gets Nick out. He's like, Nick, Santa, wake up. And he got him out. Okay, and that's when Gryla transforms into her real self. Okay, she is actually an ogre with sea testicles for arms, and she's like a giant one too. Okay, as she was harassing Cal and Jake, alright, at one point Jake was thrown back against the sleigh. Um, that's when Krampus steps in to renew himself by saving Santa Claus. He shoots Gryla with like fire, and suddenly Krampus gets thrown around by Gryla, and they got their own um, confrontation. And Gryla attempts to crush Cal with her testicle arm. Then what finally ended the fight was Santa Claus commanding his reindeer, and they're all like running down in the air, and they all like push her into a box and falling in and breaking them. And then the Santa Claus energy gets back inside of Santa Claus, and Krampus and Santa Claus reunited again, wishing each other Merry Christmas. Um, then Krampus goes off, and I think that's also when Gryla dies at the end too. And then the ending, it ends with Cal, Jake, and Dylan joins the ride with Santa Claus to drop Dylan and Jake off back to their homes. And who knows that Santa Claus can do stunts, okay? As soon as Santa Claus and his cute little dwarves starts getting gifts sent out to him, okay, he like goes down the rope and starts doing flips and is sliding down the houses, going to the next houses, going back up, getting presents. I was wowed by that. I was wowed by that, and the way that he like gathers up all the carrots in one like hand and he throws them out in the reindeer, and the perfect synchronization of that. All of the reindeer caught each of their carrots at once. That was beautiful. That was my favorite part of the ending, by the way. And so Cal was standing, Santa Claus was riding the sleigh, and Jake and Dylan were like sitting down, they were talking to each other, and well, finally got along for once, and and then all of them were like, Merry Christmas to each other. And so Kyle and Jake were looking at each other like, we did it. We saved Christmas. And that was the ending of the Run One. So if you have not watched it yet, that's okay. But I did. I'm sure it's still in the theater, so if you want a chance, go watch the Run One. Absolutely do it anytime you like. But here's my opinions on the Run One. Alright, adding mythological creatures into a Christmas movie, oh my god, you did a wonderful job on that. I love it. That's like my most favorite part of the movie. Okay? But I loved the connections to every characters. I love the comedy. Okay? And I loved how you kept it Christmas themed too. So good job, Jake. Good job. Yep, good job, Jake Kazan. Applaud to you. Okay, I'm gonna have to give this movie a 5 out of 5 stars for this one too. Very good. I loved the acting. I loved all the sets. Alright. My most favorite building has to be Santa Claus skyscraper. How colorful, how beautiful they were. Alright. And I loved how like it sort of went from like the conflict to like resolution when Growlithe finally defeated. Okay. The storyline was beautiful. Okay. And I loved how you guys depicted Krampus as like actually like a good creature, just troubled and challenged when Jake accidentally touched his treasure chest. And I loved how Krampus renewed himself at the end, and you know, everyone's finally coming back together and celebrating Christmas once again. So very nice job. 5 out of 5 stars. Awesome. Very, very awesome. I recommend this movie to all of you guys too. So, thank you guys for watching. If you loved this, please give this a thumbs up. Okay? And don't forget to subscribe for more art and entertainment. If you have not checked out my review on Smile 2, make sure to check that out. And don't forget to subscribe, like I said. Well, everyone, I sincerely hope that you guys all had a very good Christmas and a Happy New Year. Okay? I will definitely miss 2024. It might not be great, but I sincerely hope that 2025 will be better for all of you guys. Alright? God bless you. I love you. Remember, there's always a cape of hope despite the hurt caused by the kryptonite. Alright? Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. Happy holidays. See you later, everyone. Bye.